Under Sean McVay, Brian Kelly at Cincinnati, Doug Peterson, Pat Shurmur, and he is one of the more charitable guys, a Pro Bowler in 2014, and Connor's joining us now. You were with the Giants last year, so the first obvious question is, how was Odell Beckham as a teammate?
Great. He was an awesome teammate. Loved playing with him for a year. He probably the most talented athlete I've ever been around.
In 10 years?
In 10 years, playing college basketball, playing 10 years in the NFL. The most freak athlete I've ever been around.
Challenging?
What do you mean challenging?
To coach?
Probably, because he's so special, and what teams do to him defensively is unlike any other player. Like, I was in the division with Philly, and we literally bracketed him every single play of every time we played him, which that doesn't happen to anybody else in the league. So you need to get him involved somehow. You have to, because he's such a special player. And I think that's hard for coaches to figure out how to do. I think next year, after having a year with him and Saquon, I think Shurmur will probably be better at finding ways to get him involved in the game earlier. But yeah, because he's so special and so much different than anybody else, I think it can be challenging on how to fit him into the game plan.
Yeah, I talked to him about 2 weeks ago for 20 minutes. I liked him. And I think sometimes when you're as gifted as, you know, these Steph Currys and these Odell Beckhams and these Antonio Browns, Odell had an injury, and I think there's kind of a sense of, this isn't going to last forever. I want to be, because I think Odell could be an all-timer. Do you sense with Odell, and this is totally understandable, there is a sense of urgency now to start winning games and getting Hall of Fame opportunities?
Well, I think there's always been that sense, and I think he's always known how special of a player he is. I think when you look at last year, you have to be very careful when you evaluate it, because the Giants, we just weren't a very good team. And so it's hard for any player to be incredibly successful. I mean, we went through 10 different offensive linemen. And so Eli, you know, he's just back there with, 2 seconds, got to get rid of the ball. So if the Giants can just, improve some of the O-line, improve some of the D-line, win a couple more games, control the ball a little bit more, I think you'll see Odell, those numbers come back and be even better in the future. Surprised
Antonio Brown won the situation?
Yeah, unbelievable. So as a player, I mean, you never see that happen in the NFL. I thought the Steelers would just keep him on the team and fine him every single day once camp started. And there would be some kind of resolution, at the end of camp or something. But I couldn't believe what he did last year as a player, to not show up for the last game, but to have this kind of public feud with management and
win.
And really win. It's great from a player's standpoint. Now, at the same time, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. He's going to make more money. He's out of, the Steelers organization, but his whole career he's had Roethlisberger, and he's had an incredible 9 years. Now he's got Derek Carr and the Raiders. We'll see what kind of success they have together.
Connor Barwin joining us. When you talk about free agency, you're going to sign, you're an unsigned free agent, you're going to sign again. What does matter? Because these players have choices. Le'Veon Bell has choices. Yeah. Is it location? I would think I'd want to join a winning culture. But I also can be a broadcaster until I'm 60. Money is a real thing.
Yeah. Well, I think it matters, what point you're at in your career. I think for me, there's always been kind of 2 or 3 things that have been most important. All players won't say this, but it is undoubtedly one of the most important things is money.
Of course.
How much you're going to get paid. I think me, at the end of my career now, money is much less important, and winning is by far the most important thing. But winning is always part of the decision. And with winning comes the kind of system you're going into. And you want to play in a system that will benefit your kind of skill set. So I think those are the 2 things that matter most throughout your career, is how much money you're going to make. And is it a system offensively or defensively that fits what you're good at? And then other things are add-ons. Like if guys that play there that you like, that's good. If you like California, you can go back home to California, that's good. But those are just kind of things at the end.
There's been a lot of different cultures you've been in locker rooms. The Philadelphia Chip Kelly situation started well, went sideways. He brought that college environment in. It just, the NFL wasn't quite ready for it. What's the best locker room you've ever been in, and why?
Well, the best and probably the most fun for me was the first locker room I was in, and that was Gary Kubiak, in Houston, with Wade Phillips and Gary. And it was a different time in the league, but Kubiak very much was very serious. You had to be accountable. But he treated everybody like men. And if you took care of your business, you were good with Cougs. And then we just had a great group of guys.
Wade Phillips was a coordinator, wasn't he?
Yeah, Wade was there. Wade's the best. I mean, everybody loves playing for Wade. And Wade likes to have fun. So there was a nice balance between Cougs and how serious he was, and Wade and having fun. And both of them have been around the league and been around, great players for so long. So they knew how to handle us as guys. And they just kind of let you be individuals. And then, I've been in a lot. I mean, Chip changed the NFL in a lot of ways. He was kind of behind.
Sped up play.
Something new, something different. And after 3 years, it was like, we need to figure out what it is we do and just do that.
Sure.
And then McVay is special, too. I got to play with him 2 years ago.
What did you make of Sean?
Well, he's young, and just the energy he has, you know what I mean? I think the energy that he brought every single day was special, and the way he made practices kind of competitive and got kind of guys excited about practicing, I think was special. And that's hard to do in the NFL with how much you practice, how much people get injured in practice. And McVay was great at kind of getting people excited to practice and compete.
You've played a long time in the NFL. You still look great. You feel healthy. 10 years in the NFL. There's been a lot of injury concerns. I contend the league's actually a little safer now than it's ever been. They're modifying rules. Yeah. You've been in this league now 10 years. You're still capable of playing. You still have a love for the game.
Yeah.
Has there been one big change? Is it the pace of play? Used to everybody huddled? I mean, what's the biggest change for you in a decade in this league?
Related to health and safety,
like
or
the
biggest
schemes, the health, the nutrition.
Well, the biggest change is kind of what Chip did, and it's the focus on what you do off the field. Like when I got in the league 10 years ago, and you flew home from a game, there was booze on all the planes, and we were having a good time after every single game flying home. The last couple of years, there's nothing. And when we have all these dietitians, everybody's talking about proteins and all this kind of stuff, which when I first got in the league 10 years ago, there wasn't this focus on sleep and diet and all that kind of stuff. And that has totally changed. Kids that are these big college programs, they're even starting in high school where they have all these special trainers and people that take care of their diet. So I think that the health and the way people take care of their bodies outside of
that's good
game.
To hear, actually. I love that.
Yeah, and it's guys are being healthier and they're playing longer, and it's also making the game faster and improving the game.
You think Odell Beckham, a minute left, do you think the Giants trade him?
No.
You don't?
I don't. Too special of a player. And I think it would be a little reactionary of them because last year things didn't go well.
Right, it was bad setup.
But I had my worst career ever because we were a bad team. A lot of guys had their, OV didn't have a great year. Tons of guys didn't have a good year. We were 1-6, seven games in. No one was playing well. So if you have a special player like that, you don't go and get rid of him and think that's going to be the difference.
Great meeting you, Connor Barwin. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Caps Penguins tonight. It's the Discover Card Key matchup. Get your free credit scorecard today. Will not hurt your credit. Include your FICA credit score. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply. Hour 3 is coming up. We're rolling on. We'll keep updating you on the NFL free agent activity. It's The Herd.